Then again, you turn up in 2019, and this is a completely different Dinesh Karthik. Here's another picture that we've got. We've got a couple of happy pictures. This one may be a little more poignant, but you turned up as a completely different entity. You had a couple of outstanding seasons as a finisher in T20 cricket, and suddenly here is Dinesh Karthik, the finisher, being told to play that role in 50 overs cricket as opposed to playing it in 20 overs cricket.
Yeah, it came as a bit of a surprise to me because they had made it very clear that I'd be batting at 7. But suddenly I think that when things changed, they didn't exactly expect that something like that would happen because, we were going through pretty strong in the tournament. There were many games when a lot of the middle order didn't even get to bat, which I think was one of the hard things because a player like Dhoni likes to, play X number of balls in a tournament, especially leading up to the semi-final. But, Rohit was batting so well. You always have Virat. Shikhar had done well till he left. So the middle order typically didn't get too many opportunities to bat. And that, I think, was one of the hard ones, because when your middle order doesn't get to bat and suddenly they're pushed into a big game like this and, thrust into a situation, it could be hard in that tournament. Yes, you have the experience to back you. A player like Dhoni has played 300 games, but World Cup semi-final is a World Cup semi-final. It has its beauty and its pressure around it. And that game, as everybody, I think, deep down somewhere felt this could happen in a game, so happened in the semi-final. Picked the 2 wickets that the whole world wanted, and they got it early. So then they obviously, had to send a rearguard action just to stem the flow of wickets. And I was told to bat up. Everything happened in a bit of a haze, a hurry. I was just sitting in my shorts outside and I had to just go get up, get ready, and literally I was a little late to get in actually because I wasn't expecting a wicket to fall. KL got out and I had to walk in. I hadn't even worn the pads and obviously through the tournament it was pretty clear that I was going to bat below Dhoni at number 7 because I had done that really well in the past and in the in Australia we'd finished games, in New Zealand we'd finished games. So they're very clear about. I had not batted, I think, at number 3, even 5. I had not batted at number 5, maybe I think for a couple of years or more. I don't think so, but here I got the opportunity. I went and did the job that was asked of me for the team, which is to arrest wickets. I think I went in 3rd over and I got out in the 4th. I don't know when I got out, doesn't matter. I just stopped those kind of wickets to fall till Bolt's spell was over. And, he was the main wrecker-in-chief. And, unluckily, after that, when the time was there for me to move on, I got out. To a brilliant catch by James Leach. I still
it was a stunning catch. I remember watching it. I was obviously at the tournament. And I felt for you because you were suddenly playing a different role from the one we expected you to play, which is we expected you to play the T20 part of the role in what was such a strong batting order. And suddenly to come in and play as a batsman, as you said, play out that spell, and then a catch like that. Tell me, what happens in dressing rooms like this? Is there a sense of shock? Has this really happened to us? We were the team that everybody else was scared of, and suddenly has this actually happened to us? Is there no tomorrow all of a sudden? How do you react to situations like those?
I think deep down everybody knew that the only way to beat India was to get those early wickets. And the game was a bit of a irritating game to say for the players because you win a toss and obviously there is strategy around whether you want to bat or bowl. So we wanted to, I think, bowl. If I'm right, I think we wanted to bowl so that we could play in the evenings. And in England, obviously, when the sun is out, it's a lot easier to play with an overcast condition to start off, and so you want to make use of all that. But these everything of that kind was lost. We had to we had to bowl 3 overs the next day. It was like a bit like playing a 2-day game. You had to come back and play the next day with a lesser crowd, and the whole feel to the game was different going in. But we still had them to a decent score, 240. Let's say it was a good score, but if they had put up that score on a bilateral in England and we were playing New Zealand on the same day with a bilateral, it would have probably ended up 2-1 for 2. That's how it would have probably panned out. But World Cup semi-final, the pressures attached to it, everybody could obviously feel it, sense it, and that's what pressure does to you. And that's the difference between playing a multi-nation tournament and a bilateral that most people get. And that's where consistency in, backing the players, consistency in making them feel part of it, all these kind of small things comes into play. And we've always been good at playing these big tournaments because I think the last few years, if semi-finals was the yardstick, I think we have hit it every time. It's just that we have not gone on to, go to the final or win the World Cup, and I'm sure it is around the corner with the kind of skill that we have.